Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. If you've been in the watch game for a couple of years or more, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to what's coming. If you're brand new to this video will hopefully be informative or at least somewhat entertaining. I've been collecting guitars for much longer than wristwatches, and the journey is similar. Unless you inherit a boatload of cash, you'll start at the bottom, and before you know it, you'll be looking at 10 grand pieces and wonder how you got there. Let's see if we can shortcut your journey towards a strong collection. And first, let's give a nod of appreciation to two opposites amongst the watch YouTubers. TGV of the Urban Gentry channel, who I'm sure has inspired many people's first purchases, and his arch enemy, one might say, the infamous Archie Luxury.
What do I think of the Seiko SARB017 Alpinist? I fucking hate it! I fucking hate it, my god!
Who is an acquired taste but is full of wisdom and will steer you to the other side of the spectrum towards luxury and learning how not to waste your money. In between, or way above the clouds if you like, Tim Mosso of the Watchbox is the real watch guru, and his videos and live shows are certainly the cream of the YouTube crop. And his opinion is that your watch collection should represent who you are, not what others think you should own, and that's the hardest path to find. With that in mind, let's have a bit of fun. Phase 1. Debate. Your old dusty watch box is full of questionable choices. Your daily driver is a fossil or diesel. And then one day a proper watch catches your attention. Say the latest Omega worn by James Bond. You're shocked at the sticker price, which you think is non-negotiable, and think you'll never buy a luxury watch in a luxury store. You have never heard of grey market or imagined people would buy used watches. Nevertheless, your attention has been captured. You start watching YouTube videos and a new world opens up. Phase 2. Testing waters. You still haven't decided, but you know you won't spend more than $300. How about them Seikos, man? Why would one spend more? You get one. It's the best watch ever. You can see the movement through the case back. The case is well polished and you can talk about it on forums, Facebook and YouTube with like-minded guys. You're happy. Phase 3. Accumulation. Wow, you didn't know there were so many brands that make so many nice watches that you could afford after all. You're becoming a bit of a snob already. You think, Rolex is for douchebags and I'll never waste my money on one. An ETA movement does the job and is well regarded according to some dude on YouTube. So you invest in a Swiss timepiece that you think will outlast you. You find a great deal on eBay for a Hamilton or an Oris diver. You're happier. But unknowingly to you, it's already the thrill of the chase more than the ownership that excites you. And you start adding up pieces as you want to tick all the boxes. All hell breaks loose. You start accumulating Seikos because after all they don't cost that much. You never dive, but now you have 5 divers of different sizes and colors. You never climb, but you need an alpinist. You never fly, but need a pilot's watch, but don't want to spend the money on an AWC. So you find some discount brand that looks just the same to you, and so on. Add a couple of limited editions that you have to have because the fear of missing out, the FOMO, keeps you up at night. Phase 4. Escalation. Finally, you get your first luxury watch, a used Omega. It opens up your eyes on luxury. You've crossed a mental threshold money-wise, and soon enough you get a few other 4 to 5 grand watches, used or new. You get a Moonwatch, a used Rolex or JLC. You start getting quality stuff and affirm your personality through your collection as you grab watches on a whim. Soon enough, you've become another kind of snob, You realize Rolex is the only brand that holds value and decide never to compromise again on mid-tier watches. You still kind of enjoy your Seikos, but don't really wear them much because life is short and sweeter with a luxury watch on the wrist. Phase 5. Rationalization. You've matured. Soon enough, all this stuff you've accumulated stares at you from the watch box, and you realize you could really own 2 or 3 watches, and you consider selling everything else to simplify your life and stop winding crowns and setting dates. You start thinking you could even live with 1 Rolex. And finally, you are motivated to get a better job so you can buy your first Patek, and then you'll really be happy. Or not. Alright, this is a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm sure many of you went down this natural path, or some version of it. Watches are wonderful little living things, no matter the price point. It's inevitable that you will want to always get the latest and greatest, and usually end up wanting something of greater manufacture. You should see my Seiko watch box. It's ridiculous. Seiko is a thing of its own, a separate bug. You gotta have them, and you don't know why. They have a life of their own besides my other nicer timepieces. They're just cool little things, what can I say? Note that the reverse effect can happen. You might get your Rolex and realize it's not for you because you like jeans and t-shirts and have a simple life and don't want to worry about your watch's value, so you backtrack to a mid-tier brand. That's what Tudor is there for. It's a platform on the way up and a safety net on the way down. So, if you're new to this fun hobby and know you have a collecting personality, how can you limit the damage to get from A to Z without going through Doxa, Hamilton, Longines, and Tissot? 1. Get a luxury timepiece as soon as possible once you have become familiar with the hobby and defined your tastes. It will put the rest in perspective and slow down your accumulation of disposable watches. 2. Question whether a watch you consider buying has a better alternative in your collection already. If the answer is yes, don't buy it. 3. ETA, Sellita, Miyota, Seiko movements are made so that hundreds of brands can exist and sell basically the same watch in a different disguise for under $1,500. Stop buying that. Get a couple, tops. The insides will eventually matter to you as much as a hot body, a bit like marriage. 4. Get yourself a Rolex. Don't question why, just do it. And I don't mean a 30-year-old boy-size Datejust either. Let me know what you think in the comments. Till next time, au revoir.